Hi, I'm Nathan and my best friend's a tiny bug,
Bacterium.
a bacterium called Theo. In the last couple of videos we've been looking at temperature, and now we've finally got to the best bit, what temperature means for life. The lives of humans like us, plants and animals, and of course microscopic bugs like Theo.
For example, did you know I really don't like being left in the fridge?
Yes, I am painfully aware of that fact.
We're going to be looking at some tough types that live at some incredibly extreme temperatures and trying to find out just how they manage to pull it off.
Like this hardcore squirrel, which can survive when its body temperature gets as low as -3 degrees, when by rights it should literally have frozen solid.
And these ridiculously robust microbes that are happy to live at 120 degrees C, when they should surely be completely vaporized.
The first thing you need to know about life is that we all need liquid water to survive. Now, since water freezes at 0 degrees C and boils at 100 degrees C, a safe starting point is to assume that life can only exist between these two temperatures.
And different forms of life prefer different temperatures. You humans are pretty fussy when it comes to temperature.
That's probably a fair point actually. If you look at the Galileo thermometer I showed you last time, it measures a reasonable range for room temperature, roughly 18 to 26 degrees, and that's certainly where I feel most comfortable. We humans are warm-blooded, so our bodies automatically adjust our inside temperature to about 37 degrees C. They can only do that as long as the temperature of our surroundings isn't too high or low. By wearing the right clothes, we can live at colder temperatures because the clothes we wear insulate us. Things like shivering when we're cold and sweating when we're hot are ways that our body works to keep itself in the right temperature range. When I get too cold, I see the Reynolds Effect, where my fingers go completely white because the blood vessels in my skin are redirecting blood away from the skin in my fingers, where it's not essential for survival, in towards my vital internal organs to make sure they stay warm enough to keep working.
That looks pretty scary if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's just something that happens, and it's not much fun when it does. If the core temperature of our body gets below 35 degrees, that's classed as hypothermia. Above 38 degrees, and we have hyperthermia. If it gets below 32 or above 40, that is an emergency.
Cold-blooded animals and plants and microbes like me can't keep ourselves warm in the same way. You'll often find that we can survive when our inside temperature falls a lot lower, but we can only thrive and grow at more comfortable temperatures. So if we want to do well, we have to stick to places where we can cope at the temperature of our surroundings.
But some living things have tricks up their sleeves that mean they can survive at extraordinary temperatures.
Like humans who wear actual sleeves.
Well, you could say that, but I was thinking of things that have a more built-in way of coping with temperature. Like this.
And that is...
A frozen frog.
sounds a bit cruel.
Well, as it happens, this one doesn't seem to mind. It's a North American wood frog, and shockingly, it lives in the woods. In the autumn, it'll dig itself a little burrow under the leaves on the ground and hibernate for the winter. The ground temperature can get below -15 degrees, and often the frog's blood will freeze solid and its heart will stop beating. But as long as no more than 2/3 of the water in its entire body freezes, when the weather warms up, it'll defrost for a bit and then hop away quite happily.
That's insane! How does it manage that?
Well, its body has to prepare properly. It builds up high levels of the chemicals urea and glucose inside its organs, and these act like antifreeze, which stop ice crystals forming and damaging the cells of its body.
Wow.
But of course, frogs are cold-blooded. You wouldn't expect a warm-blooded animal to be able to survive body temperatures below 0, would you?
No, but the way you're saying that makes me think you're going to surprise me.
Ta-da!
Is that a dead chipmunk?
No, a hibernating Arctic ground squirrel. They spend 2/3 of the year asleep.
Sounds a bit like you.
In their case, it's because it's too cold and they wouldn't be able to find enough food to keep them alive if they stayed awake during the winter. Researchers have measured their internal body temperature, and it can get down as low as -3 degrees.
So their blood freezes too?
Well, no, actually, no warm-blooded animal will be able to survive that. We don't know exactly how they manage it yet, but it seems they get rid of anything from their body that would trigger ice crystals to start forming. So at below 0 degrees, instead of freezing solid, the water in their bodies stays as a super-cooled liquid.
That is literally super cool. But do you know any cute little animals that can survive really high temperatures? And I'm talking like actually boiling.
No cute ones, no. There are some odd-looking worms that survive in hot springs under the sea. This one's called the Pompeii Worm. It's about 10 centimetres long and it can survive up to 80 degrees C, so not quite boiling, but getting there. It's actually covered in a layer of bacteria about a centimetre thick, which seems to help insulate it from the heat and probably helps feed it as well.
So yet another animal that needs bacteria to survive. One doesn't like to brag, but it seems like it's single-celled microbes like us that can survive the hottest temperatures. The hottest places on Earth where you'll find life are hydrothermal vents, which are a bit like underwater volcanoes that send hot water up from the bottom of the ocean. And that is where this beauty was found.
That's a bacterium, is it?
Okay, so they're not technically bacteria, they're archaea, which make up their own whole different group. But I bet you couldn't tell the difference by looking at them.
So how hot can it go?
Well, they originally called it strain 121 because it can keep growing and dividing even at 121 degrees C. That's the temperature hospitals use to sterilise their equipment because it kills absolutely all living things, except apparently it doesn't. Strain 121 can actually survive all the way up to 130 degrees C, but it can't grow until it cools back down a bit. Now they've given it a nice name as well. Geogemma barrossii.
Geogemma. That's a nice name.
Yeah, let's call it Gemma. Gemma can only survive at such high temperatures because the high pressure at the bottom of the sea stops the water from boiling and turning into gas. And actually, although it can survive at really high temperatures, it can't actually grow if you cool it down to temperatures where you and I are more comfortable. That means that even though it can survive a hospital steriliser, it couldn't do anything if it got inside you, because it wouldn't be warm enough. Another interesting fact about Gemma is that it lives by eating rust.
What an odd bod. Well, it looks like we've run out of time. I think I'll stick at a nice comfortable 18 degrees. Thank you very much.
Well, I wouldn't mind it a bit warmer, but that'll do. See you next time!
Bye.